Alright guys, welcome back to another reaction video. My name is James.
Ninetailebrush.
I'm Nick.
And today we're going to be watching Troy. So we've been doing our classic movie series. We put up a poll. You guys voted for Troy, so we're going to be watching Troy. I have seen bits and pieces of this movie. I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the whole movie. You've seen this movie.
I've seen it.
You have not seen this movie. Some big actors in it. Orlando Bloom, who plays Legolas, you'll probably recognize him.
Okay.
Brad Pitt's in it, which he's kind of huge. And yeah,
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana's in it. So I'm excited. From what I've seen, this is a really fun movie. It's kind of medieval. We're going with that whole medieval vibe. As usual, we have polls every week to decide the classic movie. So second place on the poll was Aliens. So that is going to be up on Patreon, as well as a full-length reaction for this movie, a full-length reaction for Aliens. And we're going to keep doing it. Weekly polls. Check them out. We're doing weekly polls for this classic series, and you guys kind of get to decide what we watch next. So yeah, I'm really excited for this movie. It's a bit long, but I think it works with these, giant medieval epics. And yeah, let's just get into it. Okay. Wait, do you know the Iliad story?
A tiny bit, not much of it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the extended edition.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the version we found either way. This is a sick way to open it either way.
And so we ask ourselves, will our actions echo across the centuries?
Sean Bean's in this, isn't he?
Yeah, this is
He
it.
plays Odysseus, right? Holy, I forgot about that. Oh, dude.
Good day for the crows. I told you yesterday, and I'll tell you again today. Remove your army from my land. I like your land. You can't have the whole world, Agamemnon. It's too big, even for you. I don't want to watch another massacre. Let's settle this war in the old manner. Your best fighter against my... Achilles!
This is what happened the first day of filming when they had to send someone to Brad Pitt's trailer.
And they added this into the movie just because they got the footage.
Brad, we're shooting.
The Thessalonian you're fighting. He's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
Way to bring a little kid
Yeah, I
down.
know.
I should have you whipped for your impudence. Perhaps you should fight him. Achilles. Achilles. Look how many songs they'll sing in your honor. Let them go home to their wives.
Ooh.
Is there no one else? Who are you, soldier? Achilles, son of Peleus, the ruler of Thessaly, carries this scepter. Give it to your king.
Interesting dynamic, right? Like,
Yeah, they kind of using him a bit, right? To just do
Yeah.
what they want to do, and I don't know what they hold over him right now. I'm kind of wondering.
well, I actually think you could argue that Menelaus, no, what's the other guy's name? Agamemnon actually has authority over him because they conquered them. If anything, you could argue that Achilles is kind of being disrespectful and not obeying just for the sake of.
That is true.
Let us drink to peace. To peace. Between Troy and Sparta. May the gods keep the wolves in the hills and the women in our beds.
It's a very different Sparta than 300.
Yeah, where's Leonidas coming in with its abs?
Well, he's a respectable figure.
So they said they were the two princes?
Yeah, they're princes from Troy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're brothers.
Okay.
And sons of King Priam. On the night they make peace.
Yeah.
Kind of sketchy. I
mean-
come on.
Like clearly there's less of a respect for marriage, but at the same time, like, it's still...
It's very...
I'm not even talking about them with being married and things like that. It's really about the fact their country's just made peace. And this is the
That's-
wife of the king.
Yeah, like,
that's very...
Paris
like,
is just being stupid.
It's very dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
The last time you spoke to me like this, you were 10 years old and you just stolen father's horse. What have you done now? I must show you something.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
If you want to take Helen back to Sparta, so be it. But I go with her. To Sparta, they'll kill you. Then I'll die fighting. Ever seen a man die in combat? No. I've killed men. And I've heard them die. And I've watched them die, and there's nothing glorious about it. Nothing poetic. You say you want to die for love, but you know nothing about dying, and you know nothing about love. I want her back. Well, of course you do. She's a beautiful woman. I want her back so I can kill her with my own two hands. All my life I've stood by your side, fought your enemies. You're the elder, you reap the glory. This is the way of the world. But have I ever complained, brother? Have I ever asked you for anything? Never. Will you go to war with me, brother? I always thought my brother's wife was a foolish woman, but she's proved to be very useful. This will be the greatest war the world has ever seen. We need the greatest warrior. There's only one man he'll listen to.
I like how as this all shapes up, it's honestly kind of like there's the people who have their agendas and then people getting caught up.
Yeah.
Like even Menelaus, I feel like he feels wrong, but he's getting caught up in Agamemnon's plan, and
Oh,
Hector
yeah.
is
Oh,
getting
yeah.
screwed over by Paris because Paris just wants to do his own thing, and it's like, I like that though. Scratches his back with the sword.
Nervous? You know how to use it. Taking my orders.
Jeez.
All right.
Okay.
Hi.
Patroclus, my cousin. Odysseus, king of Ithaca. Now you have this one watching over you, eh? Learning from Achilles himself. Will not fight for him. I'm not asking you to fight for him. I'm asking you to fight for Greece. Why aren't the Greeks tired of fighting each other? For now. Let Achilles fight for honor. Let Agamemnon fight for power. And let the gods decide which man to glorify. Forget Agamemnon. Fight for me. Prince Hector's, he's good a warrior, as they say. The best of all the Trojans. Some say he's better than all the Greeks, too.
All right, now you have his attention.
Your cousin doesn't come. We sail for Troy in 3 days. This war will never be forgotten.
If you go to Troy, you'll never come home. For your glory walks hand in hand with your doom.
You know this to be true, Mother.
I know this.
Sounds like an easy choice to me. I'm staying home.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? You see the different motives
Yeah.
of the different characters. That is awesome.
I mean, come on.
Oh, by the way, Helen, is someone else's wife. By the way,
Yeah, that's what the ladies are saying. Like, wait, hold on, I saw her in People magazine. She's from Sparta.
I've heard rumors of your beauty. For once, gossips were right.
It's grown. He's strong. Just like his father.
We're slaves. The servants of Apollo now. The young men of Troy were devastated when Briseis chose the virgin. I'm surprised you let him bring her. If I'd let him fight Menelaus for her, you'd be burning his son's body instead of welcoming a daughter. We could send peace envoys to Menelaus. Oh, you know Menelaus. He'd spear their heads to his gate. Women have always loved Paris, and he has loved them back, but this is different. Something has changed in him. If we send her home to Menelaus, he will follow her. Apollo watches over us. Even Agamemnon is no match for the gods. And how many battalions does the sun god command? Do not mock the gods.
hey, do you realize what you guys have done yet? Jeez.
Right now, what if we went down to the stables, took 2 horses and left? Ride east. Keep riding. If we're not here, what need is there for war?
Menelaus won't give up.
He'd still attack them. Are you kidding me?
He doesn't know these lands. I do. We can lose ourselves in a game.
How did they shoot the? Do you have any idea like how they shot some of the wides of the city? Like, do they have models like Lord
They
of the
must
Rings?
have. I don't know. I mean, it was a little later, so
Yeah.
I don't know though. I have no idea. I mean, I really like how many like themes and ideas they have going on with like. I don't know. They have a lot of imperfect characters, and I like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's no really. I mean, I guess Hector's really the only person that's like kind
Hector's
of right. Everybody else is
Yeah. So far, Hector's
doing
looking
something
pretty
wrong.
good.
Like everybody.
It's a lot of ships.
I just like. I mean, isn't it in the actual Iliad where they're like the face that launched 1,000 ships?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that they like. I feel like they pay homage to that in this
Yeah.
movie.
And this is like an invasion that Troy has never seen. Like this
Yeah.
is huge.
They got the advantage though. It's like D-Day. If you're on the beach,
Yes, true.
you have the strategic advantage.
Troy with 50 men?
He's gonna try.
Who do you think he is? Like,
My lord! You, my lord, can fight. Let servants of Agamemnon fight for me.
He's like the star player of the team who doesn't listen to the coach. You
Yeah.
know?
but they like need him. So.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
they
So
do,
he
so
could
they
just
leave
be
him in.
disrespectful in practice. They can't, kick him off.
He doesn't show up to practice. Who are we
Yeah,
kidding?
that's true.
All my life, I've lived by a code. And the code is simple. Honor the gods, love your woman, and defend your country.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Fight for her. Do you know what's there? Waiting, beyond that beach. Immortality. Take it. It's yours.
Let's go. Oh. Oh. I mean, you gotta give it to him. He's leading his men.
Yeah, honestly.
You gotta respect that, whether it's for glory or not.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is going off. The sound design is so sick.
Dude, yeah.
He blocks the arrow. Oh, dude. Oh. Holy.
Take whatever treasure you can find. Apollo sees everything. Perhaps it is not wise to offend him.
His poor second in command's just trying to, like, get along.
Holy.
You are very brave or very stupid. Come after me alone. You must be Hector. There's no honor in cutting off millstones. Only children and fools fight for honor. I fight for my country. Fight me. Why kill you now, Peter Troll? But no one here to see you fall. You speak of war as if it's a game. But how many wives waited Troy's gates for husbands I'll never see again? Perhaps your brother can comfort them. I hear he's good at charming other men's wives.
Apollo is master of the sun. There's nothing.
Where is he?
You're nothing but a killer. You wouldn't know anything about the gods.
Agamemnon requests your presence. The kings are gathering to celebrate the victory.
Achilles is such an interesting blend of, like, really selfish and, like, I don't know, I feel like he is obsessed with glory, but at the same time he is kind of honorable. Like him letting Hector go, him not killing Briseis or whatever. Like it's this odd blend.
I think he's just interested in like the things that are glorious, not in just outright cruelty for its own sake.
Yeah. But he does hurt other people around him for the sake of glory.
Yeah, he'll do pretty much anything if it brings him personal glory, I think.
Apparently you won some great victory. Perhaps you didn't notice. The Trojan beach belongs to Priam in the morning. It belongs to Agamemnon in the afternoon. Tomorrow we'll batter down the gates of Troy. I'll build monuments to victory on every island of Greece. I'll carve Agamemnon in the stone. My name will last through the ages.
Well, don't disrespect him till he's done fighting for you.
Yeah.
For the waves to wash away. No argument with you, brothers, but if you don't release her, you'll never see home again. Decide. Guards! Mighty Achilles, silenced by a slave girl. Before my time is done, I will look down on your corpse and smile.
I think that was pretty stupid of Agamemnon to do.
Yeah, but he's on a power trip, right? Which
I
actually like.
But they haven't taken Troy yet. Like that's exactly like.
Yeah.
But he could barely hold back from even letting Achilles be there in the
That's
first
true.
place.
That's
so
true.
He's like he's waiting to do this.
We allow the Greeks to slaughter our men, rape our wives.
I suggest diplomacy. The Greeks came here for one thing. Let's be honest, my friends, Trojans are now burning on the fire.
Our walls had never been breached. We have the finest archers in the world. And we have Hector, whose men would fight the shades of Tartarus if he commanded.
You want to plan a strategy based on bird signs?
Hector shall respect. Mark Heptolemus prophesied 4 years of drought. We dug deeper wells. The drought came, and we had water to drink.
The gods won't fight this war for us.
Well, yeah, you can't leave it all to the gods. Like even if they'll help you, you have to still do something about it.
Yeah, I agree.
They're
You
not
don't
going
want
to
to plan a
shoot people with
strategy off
lightning.
bird signs.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, I will challenge Minerva. The winner will take her home. The loser will burn before nightfall.
I may be a little hard on Paris, but I'm like, it's a little late for that. Like, if you're gonna do that in Sparta before you started a war.
I've fought many wars in my time. Some have fought for land, some for power, some for glory. I suppose fighting for love makes more sense than all the rest, but I won't be the one fighting. Back to the founding of Troy, the history of our people was written with this sword. Carry it with you tomorrow.
Don't go tomorrow. Please don't go.
Paris fights tomorrow, not me.
50,000 Greeks didn't cross the sea to watch your brother fight. You know this.
Yeah, I think regardless, the war has come. It's already here.
I fight for you. When you fight for when I'm gone. Soldiers, they fight for kings they never even met. Don't waste your life following some fool's orders.
This is so epic, dude. Like, look at this. This is like some Lord of the Rings battles right here, dude.
All my life I have prayed against this day.
Yes, my king.
Your father, dear child.
I mean, credit to Paris for at least doing something now. It's better than nothing. Like, it is. There's so many.
It's all because there's so many armies of Greece.
Yeah, like Greece is a huge country.
Menelaus is a bull. He'll charge you. Keep your distance and use your speed. Brother, you don't have to do this.
I see you're not hiding behind your high walls. Valiant of you. Ill-advised, but valiant.
You come here uninvited. Go back to your ships and go home.
We've come too far, Prince Hector. Eat his food, drink his wine, embrace him in friendship, and then steal his wife in the middle of the night.
The sun was shining when your wife left you.
She's up there watching Uji. Good. I want her to watch you die. First, you must give Helen back to my brother. Second, Troy must submit to my command to fight for me whenever I call.
You want me to look upon your army and tremble? Well, I see them.
My mercy has limits.
And I've seen the limits of your mercy. And I tell you now, no son of Troy will ever submit to a foreign ruler. I won't give her up, and neither will you. So let us fight our own battle. The winner takes Helen home. And let that be the end of it.
A brave offer, but not enough.
Hire him out. What are you doing?
Yeah,
He's just
why?
playing his game.
He shouldn't be the one on the offensive. He has a shield too.
Is this what you left me for? Fight! Fight me! You can't fight me! Fight me! The Trojans have violated the agreement! Fight! Prepare for battle! Not honor! It is not over. Stand back, Prince Hector. I'll kill him at your feet, I don't care. He's my brother.
Do you blame Hector for killing Menelaus? I feel like in that situation, it's kind of understandable.
I honestly blame Paris. It's like he's the one
Of course,
who can't.
I feel like you have to blame Paris in that sense.
What the heck are you doing, dude? Dude, look at this, man. I love how claustrophobic the fight scenes are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge advantage having all those archers.
Well, it's like they said, they're too close to the wall.
And they're not like as organized, right?
No.
They're kind of like, and they're not like using any of their shields together or anything like that.
Well, because they're all different tribes, right? They're all different city-states. There's no... Ooh. At least one of my sons isn't pathetic.
Yeah.
Dude.
They'll probably lose tons more people
By running?
by retreating.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of armies like get decimated. Is like not an organized retreat.
Prince, we have them on the run.
We're in range of their archers.
Yes, he's being smart.
Send an emissary to the Greeks. Tell them.
And I'm pretty sure this is a huge deal for the Greeks religiously because they believed that if you didn't like prepare the body after their death, they couldn't go to the underworld properly. I think I'm trying to
For
remember
the Greeks
from
and the
school.
Trojans, I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very similar cultures. It's not like they had very different cultures. But the idea of burying, like a proper burial, was huge because you couldn't.
Don't care about the man's allegiance. I cared about his ability to win battles.
He's right. The men's morale is
Yeah,
weak.
to
Yeah, and his
inspire.
ability to inspire men.
They're ready to swim home. Well, even if I could make peace with Achilles,
You'll want the girl back.
you can have the damn girl. I haven't touched her.
It's to fight them with courage.
Fight back when people attack me. Doggers, I don't have courage. I've known men like you my whole life.
No, you haven't.
You think you're so different from 1,000 others? Soldiers understand nothing but war.
I was born, and this is what I am. And you? Why did you choose to love a god? I think you'll find the romance one-sided. You serve them.
Yes, of course.
And Ares, god of war, blankets his bed with the skin of men he's killed.
All the gods are to be feared and respected. I thought you were a dumb brute. Could have forgiven a dumb brute.
Does it happen like that in the Iliad? You know, like do
I
they
think she's less of a
actually have a
character.
romantic? Like I know they fight over with Achilles and Agamemnon over Briseis, but I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like it's a lot less humanizing than that.
Okay.
Like, I think it's kind of just spoils of war. And
That's what I wasn't
Agamemnon are
sure.
fighting over her, and then he's kind of like, "Oh, woman of Troy, she's my woman of Troy." But it's not like a
Like romantic
at all. Yeah, I don't think.
Men start loading the ship. We sail in the morning. Greeks are being slaughtered. We can't just sail away.
It's fighting is still on. There'll always be another war. That I promise you.
These are our countrymen. I ate, laughed, mourned with these men while you hid in your tent. In all my years to come, may my heart never turn as black as yours. We sail in the morning.
I mean, he is kind of abandoning. It is all about him and Agamemnon, I think.
You're confident about the meaning of these omens?
The desecration of his temple angers Apollo. The gods curse the Greeks. 2 of their kings have already gone down to the dust.
Prepare the army.
Dude, he's your son. He's your general. Like, at least respect his opinion.
Troy and Cass can leave whenever they want.
We should leave now.
Holy. I mean, they're fighting downhill, which is an advantage.
Yeah.
You know, light on fire.
There we go. That's an awesome shot. Well, now you have united the Greeks.
Yeah. Who's who's the younger
The cousin?
yeah, the
Patroclus?
cousin? Patroclus? That's not him, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So I knew that from the Iliad, but I figured it was better if you didn't.
Like the way that they were presenting it in the film, like they never showed.
They did their
His
best.
face, like, close, right?
Yeah, they didn't show Achilles ever change his mind or anything like that.
Yeah.
They did their best to trick you, I think, but it's like...
Yeah, I don't think... There's just no way that it would be him.
Yeah.
Hector knows he done screwed up, though.
Yeah.
Patroclus! We thought he was human.
I like how Hector even feels bad. Like, I like that he knows that...
No, yeah, he's the most noble
Yeah.
so far.
That boy's just saved this war for us.
It's true.
He's not wrong.
Yep.
Doris, my lord, I need my armor.
rope.
Hector's my cousin. He's a good man. Don't fight him. Please don't fight him.
You know it's going down.
No.
I mean, imagine if Hector was less honorable. Archers! Everyone! You call this your great warrior, Achilles? They send him back with 1,000 arrows in his body.
Hector! Hector! Hector. No father ever had a better son. You're the best man I know. You're a prince of Troy. Remember what I told you. You don't have to go. You don't. You remember what I told you.
I mean, respect to him for going.
Of course.
I'll make a pact with you. With the gods as our witnesses. Let us pledge that the winner will allow the loser all the proper funeral rituals. There are no pacts between lions and men. Now you know who you're fighting. And I wish it had been you. But I gave the dead boy the honor he deserved. You gave him the honor of your sword.
Oof. The freaking rock.
Damn it. The rock.
Yeah, now he's going all out.
kiss the hands of the man who killed my son. How did you get in here? I know my own country better than the Greeks, I think.
That's kind of crazy.
But have your head on a spit in the blink of an eye. You really think death frightens me now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows that. Like,
Yeah.
I watched you drag his body behind your chariot. How many cousins have you killed? How many sons and fathers and brothers and husbands? How many brave Achilles? Cannot change what happened. It is the will of the gods. But give me this small mercy. I love my boy from the moment he opened his eye. Let me say the prayers. Let me place 2 coins on his eyes for the birthday. You're still my enemy tonight. But even enemies can show respect.
I mean, even Hector let Patroclus get buried, so.
In my country, the funeral games last for 12 days. It is the same in my country. Then the prince will have that honor. No Greek will attack Troy for 12 days. You were dead.
Yeah, leave with Priam. Honestly.
Yeah.
Go. No one will stop you. You have my word. How, my girl? Achilles makes a secret pact and I have to honor it. What treason is this?
This guy's just never happy. You're gonna win now that you have Achilles.
The prince is dead. Their army is leaderless. This is the time to attack. Even with Hector gone, we have no way to breach their walls.
I mean, who's gonna lead the Trojans now? Like Paris?
I would say
Like, we need
they
another
have
leader.
that
old
one,
guy.
yeah.
That's true.
before Paris.
You found a way to make the sheep invite the wolves to dinner.
Is Sean Bean gonna die in this movie? His chances have been increased.
Rouse the men, you're taking them home. Aren't you coming with us? I have my own battle to fight. Fighting for you has been my life's honor, my lord. Nay.
And that's the end.
What is this? An offering to Poseidon. The Greeks are praying for a safe return home. I hope the sea god spits in their offering. Lets them all drown at the bottom of the sea. This is a gift. We shall take it to the temple of Poseidon. Our beloved Prince Hector had sharp words for the gods. And a day later, Achilles' sword cut him down. Father.
Okay.
Hector, what are you
Jeez.
talking? Dude, Hector, whatever.
Disrespect.
Imagine if they actually made it too big, it couldn't fit through the gates.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
They got the measurements wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, how big is that thing again?
I just think it would have been hilarious if they had burned it.
Yeah, I just burned it
Like,
right
Dude,
down.
those, I know those
Odysseus,
guys.
great
You
plan.
hear screams, we're like,
What the
it's
hell?
the gods.
It's gonna
Yeah,
come
they would have said
down.
that. They would have never even known.
I'm pretty sure they built that. Like, I think that's all
Really?
practical. I think. Now, it might be scaled.
You're the prince now. Make your brother proud.
Yeah, and in a sense, like, they're kind of like celebrating because their prince's death was technically not in vain, right?
Yeah,
like, you
like
would.
there was a
Yeah,
purpose for it,
and
right?
relief that the war is over, at least
Yeah.
to that.
It's not like,
Oh. love how tense it is.
I know.
Yeah, you never would have thought there'd be like a stealth mission.
I know. Jeez. Jeez.
I think a lot of this isn't in the original version because I think
Oh,
this
really?
is just too. Like it's showing such the brutality of like what happened when cities were sacked that they cut parts out.
Freaking Achilles is going full like ninja.
They scaled that entire one.
Oh. Finally, let's go, Paris. Die defending the city.
Do you know how to use a sword? Yes. Protect them, Aeneas. Find them a new home. I will.
That's a movie I want to see get made. Is the Aeneid?
The Aeneid?
Oh.
And so the idea is that the Aeneid, it leads into the origin of Rome,
The Aeneid
which is why he gives him
the opening of the story is
Trojan.
the sack of Troy. Like he wakes up and he's escaping with his family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better have been worth it, Paris.
I
Better have
dislike
been
both
worth
of those
it.
characters so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have some things to say afterwards. Like.
Odysseus is the best, okay?
I like Odysseus, yeah.
I want an Odyssey movie with Sean Bean.
I would so watch that. Channeling his inner Legolas.
I was gonna say he just has a thing in his contract for every movie.
Yeah.
It's like modern times. He just has a bow.
He needs to pull out some of his Hobbit fighting skills,
Oh.
and then Troy will be saved.
Beware, my friends. I am a servant of the gods. Too late for prayer, priestess. My flaws. And the night.
Good for her.
Whoa!
If they ever tell my story, let them say I walked with giants. Men rise and fall like the winter wheat, but these names will never die. Let them say I lived in the time of Achilles.
What'd you think?
That was good.
It's long. It's like an epic, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much longer the extended edition
Yeah.
is. Maybe like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But. And what did you think watching the whole thing for the first time? Since you've seen scenes, I think you've seen like the Hector Achilles fight, which is
I've
one
seen
of my
a few of
favorite
the fights,
parts,
and I know
but-
the Iliad, so I kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
For some of it, I mean, I thought it's like a weird commentary because I feel like the only person who's actually a good person in the whole movie is really Hector.
Him and Odysseus are the two who I like.
And I feel like they tried to get you to like kind of like Achilles, but I feel like I still wasn't. The romance seemed a bit forced with Achilles, but other than that, I still feel like it was just generally like a commentary on war. Like that's what it felt like to me. It was kind of like this cycle of violence, and it's like, oh, Achilles was like, no, I gave Hector back, and then Paris is like killing Achilles because he killed Hector because Hector killed Patroclus, because like there's just this cycle that never essentially ends. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was, the whole war, and a lot of, fairly good and reasonable people ended up, just killing each other and dying for the reasons of a few people,
Yeah.
Whether it be like, of course, the Paris and his
and
deal,
Helen, yeah,
and the greed of what's his name?
Agamemnon, yeah.
Agamemnon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like you got all these, I don't know. I mean, heck, probably a ton of those soldiers were reasonable people too, and it's kind of like, everyone just kind of fought and killed each other for not even their own
reasons.
Yeah, like, no like reasons really benefited themselves. It was kind of just like, all for the higher ups technically or whatever. And I just feel like, it is. I feel like it's kind of real in a way, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not like, not everyone is heroic. Even like Achilles and stuff, like they're called heroes.
He's a great warrior.
He's a great warrior. He's not necessarily a hero.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, that's why you can, I don't know, it really puts, perspective on like how rare heroism really is,
Yeah.
And so, honestly, I kind of like that because it's just true,
Yeah.
A lot of times, even people like, great warriors or whatever, like Achilles aren't going to be able to stop war,
Yeah.
So they kind of just end up getting, I feel like pushed into certain circumstances that I feel like they really can't do anything about. And then even just the time period also, like, things just happened, and it would have taken many people to stop certain things,
Yeah.
And so I just think like Achilles was a great warrior and whatever, and so was a lot of their other people, but I feel like they weren't. I feel like they're very real, normal people for that time, and so they, of course, you can't. I personally wouldn't consider them like heroes. Yeah. Maybe the people on their side might be like, oh, they're heroes, but I think like from an objective standpoint, you can call them like champions or something, like great warriors, but like, they're not heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like, Hector and his whole ordeal, like, is he a hero? Is he not? It's hard to say, Of course, I think he was a lot more like reasonable and I feel like straightforward than Achilles was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did some killing of his own too, and I feel like a lot of the things it's like you can't really like blame people. Like you can't really blame Achilles for like certain things. I feel
Which is why I like it, because I feel like it shows you that it's not like even Hector, who is like by far the most noble of anybody in this movie or character, or whatever, right? Like even him, like with the stuff with Menelaus, and he ends up killing Menelaus. Like I like how it's like, look, real life puts you in hard situations, and you have to make calls, and it's not always like, oh, see, these guys are the evil Nazis or whatever, right? Like it's never that like a lot of times it's not that clear where it's like, oh, the Empire or whatever it is. It's like, oh, this is really, really, really gray, and it's like you got to just try and make the call in the moment, and I like that, and I like that it showed kind of the brutality of war. Yeah, and I like that they spent. I mean, I think a lot of it's because they're in the Iliad, but I like that they spent a lot of time on side characters and then killed them. Where it's like, oh, even like these people, it's not just like, oh, the mindless characters in the movie and then the two main characters. It's like, no, they had Ajax and they had all these other people who all died, like all of them. And I liked that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, their actions were normal. Yeah. Right? Like him wanting to get revenge for his cousin, right? Achilles. It's like, oh, you almost can't blame him for that. It's like, yeah, his cousin was killed, even if it was by mistake. Like, but of course, it would be for the greater person to either like forgive or to try to do something better. But because he didn't, it's not like you take away from him. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that would be a bonus, basically.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really well made film.
Yeah, it is well made.
I like all the scenery was really
good. The music and the action and stuff.
Oh yeah, action was really good.
I always rooted for Achilles when I watched this movie being younger. Watching it this time, it was very difficult for me.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
I was surprised how different I felt towards it.
I remember reading the Iliad and being like, "Oh, I was so pissed about Paris like killing Achilles and everything." And now I'm kind of like, "Well, I kind of get it. Like, he's not. It's hard to root for him.
Yeah,
like he's cool.
Like I was watching. Like I was, even though Hector might not be as cool and as flashy, and obviously Achilles is the greater warrior.
Yeah.
Like I understood where Hector is coming from.
Yes.
Like he. You know, like I feel like he really was thinking about the things that mattered, and he didn't like I agree with his line, the line where he says like the only people who fight for honor are fools and children. It's like those are the things you think like as a kid on the playground where it's like, oh, you insulted my honor. Like these are everyone, you know, has families. Yeah. Like you're just playing with people's lives.
Well, it's like I feel like he wasn't even fighting for honor. It wasn't like noble. He was fighting for glory.
That's the difference. Yeah. It wasn't even honor. I feel like it was glory.
It was like, you know, I'm sure like a lot of people in war do fight for like glory and things like that, and it pushes people. But it's like it doesn't mean you're good. You know, it makes you end up being, you know, you can
get lost in things.
That aren't honorable or whatever, that are just for the glory.
I also really liked how anticlimactic Achilles' death was.
Yeah.
Like I think it's actually like kind of cool. Like normally you'd be like, oh, I want it to be epic, but like I do think it's kind of cool. It's like even the great warrior, it's kind of like when you die, you die, and it's not cool or amazing or glorious. It's kind of
just die like any man, you know.
Yeah, and like because he lived his life the way he did, like he dies alone. It's like, oh, the Greeks mourn him, but he dies alone.
He's a legend, but he's dead. And there's a great, in the Odyssey, obviously we're going book, not movie, right? But in the Odyssey, there's a great moment where Odysseus meets Achilles in the underworld, and he's like, oh, Achilles, you're the greatest warrior in all the underworld. And Achilles is like, I'd rather be the lowliest man in the real world alive than the greatest king, like in the land of the dead. Just something like that, which I think is interesting to what he lives for and his priorities.
Yeah. But I mean, shall we talk about Paris and Helen?
Okay, well,
can we rant about them a little bit? Because, okay, first of all, I am unhappy that Helen escapes, because that's not what happens. Does she deserve a happy ending? Helen?
Does Paris escape? Doesn't Paris die defending the city?
I think Paris died.
Not to be the book is better than the movie. It's not even fair to compare them.
I don't know how I forgot what happens with Paris, but I know Menelaus and Agamemnon don't die in the Battle of Troy. I'm almost positive.
No, Menelaus does die. Doesn't he?
I'm pretty sure he gets Helen
back. Don't the gods like help him? Because they have a face-off in the book, but then they're like the gods are way more involved. I actually kind of liked how they like paid homage to it, and you weren't like really sure whether the gods were a thing or not. I actually really liked that.
Yeah.
But like I think don't they save him though? But he doesn't kill Menelaus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Menelaus stands in front of of Helen. He was gonna kill her the whole time, but he sees her beauty and is like, okay, fine, and takes her back. But I think he gets her back, and she ends up going back.
Yeah, I don't really think she deserves a happy ending. I agree.
It was hard to empathize with her, Paris, for me, in the movie.
Yeah, the movie really tried to make it seem like, you know...
Like, it's love, and they feel guilty. I'm sorry, like...
No, I mean, I would have been okay with that. It's just, like, I still don't think they deserve to have... Like, they still did wrong. They still caused this war. However, however real their feelings were, which I... Like, they were trying to get you there, and I get it. But to me, I'm still like, they still deserve to die. They did this wrong, and all of these people, like, you see the sack of Troy, and it's like, all these poor, innocent people suffered. Yeah. And it was because of them, and so I don't know if they deserved a happy ending. Like, I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, even if it is true love, that means it's true love, but you guys are bad people, right? You
still deserve to be punished.
Like your feelings may be real, but so is, you know, the women and children. That was probably my favorite aspect that I think from the directing, is there were so many times where the enemy felt like terrifying. Like even when they first were showing up on the beach and the bells ringing, like it was played like suspense and fear. Yeah. And then the horrible sack of Troy.
And I like
how often do you see that in a movie?
Well, I like how you're kind of rooting for the Greeks, like when they're going all stealth, and it's like really cool. And then like the moment the sack starts, it's like you immediately stop. Like at least for me, I was like, oh my gosh.
They're like chucking babies and
it was
stuff,
just like, oh.
Which is what happens, right? Yeah.
But I liked that they did that because you were like, oh yeah, like the Greeks. And then you're just like, oh my god, nobody. This is just terrible. Yeah. This is horrible. But yeah, I mean, like, it's hard for me to respect. I think the two true heroes, besides the obvious Hector, is Achilles' second in command and Hector's wife. Those are the true heroes of Troy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Well, you mean of both sides.
Yeah.
Honestly, like...
It was hard for me with, like, Bryce's, too. I don't know if that was just me. As, like, her character, that felt a little off.
I don't know what she's doing, you know, just because Achilles is good looking, like all of a sudden, you know, this enemy guy, I feel
like they wanted to have a romance for him, and it was fine, but it was kind of just like, you were this, like, you dedicated your life to the gods.
And the way I can feel bad for her is if she was thinking in her head, oh, if I sleep with Achilles, I have a better chance of surviving. If that's what was on her mind, I don't think so.
But the way they pitched it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little off to me.
But I mean, I still think it was still entertaining.
I really like Priam in the movie. You know,
I really like Agamemnon.
Character. Yeah, Agamemnon. Brian Cox kills it as Agamemnon.
Like he was so despicable, but in a really, like, as an actor, it's like, dude, he killed it.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
And Peter O'Toole was great as Priam, right? Wasn't that Peter O'Toole?
Yeah, that's Peter O'Toole.
Yeah, he was great. I thought Eric Bana as Hector was great.
Yeah, and he's a totally underrated actor.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid movie.
Yeah.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said before, the full-length reaction to this movie is going to be up on Patreon, as well as Aliens, which is next week's reaction. It's going to be up on Patreon. And then, like I said, we're doing weekly polls. I think it's kind of fun to kind of let you guys decide the fate of this reaction series. So we're doing weekly polls, trying to stick in the classic movie vein. You decide what we watch next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.